Hey YouTube, like and subscribe. Listen, don't you dare shed a tear for someone that chose to sit at the devil's table. There's a lot of people that choose to sit at the devil's table. Matter of fact, they knocked on the door and say, "Let me in." They did everything and anything to get inside the devil's house to sit at his table. Don't you shed a tear. Don't you lose your sleep because they made a decision to sit at the devil's table. They made a decision to follow their flesh. They made a decision to do the things that they are doing, which is evil, which is against God. They made a decision to live their life however they choose to feel it, to live it. Don't feel sad. Don't feel sad and lose sleep and crying for someone. I understand. Because sometimes it can be your own child. Sometimes it can be your father, a mother. It can be your wife. It could be your husband. It could be your boyfriend. And you studied telling them, hey, how you acting and what you're doing is not good. You need to change. You need to change. You need to change. And they don't want to listen to you. And then they end up getting into trouble. Or they end up dying. And they didn't want to listen. And they totally did not want to hear what you got to say. Matter of fact, they made you into an enemy. Matter of fact, they went around talking bad about you and made up stories about you and made up lies about you. They try to turn everybody against you because you was telling them what they was doing was wrong. And now they end up falling into that pit, or the devil end up destroying them. Don't you shed a tear. Because if they was willing to assassinate your character, make up lies about you, and treat you evil and do evil to you just to sit at the devil's table, knocking on the devil's door, let me in, let me in. They was willing to do any and everything to go and sit at the devil's table. Man, you better save your tears. If it's that important, take your face and put it over the grass and let your tears water the grass before you shed a tear for them. It's not hate. It's just the point that they became God's enemy from the moment that they knocked on the devil's door and demanded to sit at the table. Because if you are a child of God, they your enemy. It doesn't matter if it's your mama, your daddy, your son, your daughter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It can be your husband or your wife. If they choose to do evil, you got to let go and let God and keep it moving. But don't you shed a tear. Don't you shed a tear. They made the decision to live their life how they felt like they wanted to live their life. They made a decision to do the things that they were doing. You got some of them that might end up in jail. You better save your little pennies. You better save your little pennies and do something that you need to do for yourself. You got some of them that's going to end up at the morgue. Because that's where they wanted to go, and that's where they're heading at. That's where their foot is heading. Because they don't want to listen to you. And it's not that you're speaking ill, you speaking over their life. It's just the point, their actions, their fruit is showing that their fruit is bad and what they're doing is bad, and they're destroying people by their actions, by the things that they're doing is destroying people's life. They're leading people into hell. So don't shed a tear. Don't shed a tear. And let me tell you something, people that do a lot of evil stuff, a lot of bad stuff, and they're ashamed for what they're doing, 9 out of 10, they usually end up doing drugs or end up drinking a whole lot because they trying to get away from reality. They feel bad for what they're doing, and they continue to keep doing it, and they don't repent and ask God to help them, don't shed no tear. Have a good one. Save your tears for something else that's important. No, not for them.